once again, but I get the plans ready. My hand steady on the trigger, you may fire when ready. I'm Bedard on the mic, smiling at the chaos. This force is with me, give me one day, I'll come back like a schizophrenic.
What's up everybody, Shadow Ninja here, and welcome back to Rage Quit. Thank you for joining me again for another Battlefront 2 rant slash overview. We are going to be talking about the topic of heroes versus villains. And I know what you guys are thinking, like, what could you possibly have a problem with heroes versus villains? Honestly, you get to play as a hero all the time, the characters look great, they sound great, and it is just completely immersed in, you know, being a hero in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Well, that is where you are wrong, sir. Wrong, because Heroes vs. Villains is now a buggy mess. Ever since the Count Dooku update came out in Star Wars Battlefront 2, certain lightsaber attacks aren't, registering and doing damage, force abilities don't work, the targeting system is BS, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I feel like this. Now, let's start off with the targeting system in Battlefront 2. If you guys don't know, and you guys strictly play Galactic Assault, you don't know what this targeting system is about. Basically, it's 4v4 Heroes vs. Villains battles. Okay, that sounds great and everything like that. But one teammate and one enemy gets chosen to be a target. If your teammate that was the target winds up dying, then you guys lose a point, and it's best out of 10, and it's vice versa with the other team. Now, I'm going to tell you why this targeting system isn't really the best thing for Heroes vs. Villains right now. Okay, so obviously you know in Star Wars Battlefront 2015, their substitute for Heroes vs. Villains was 4v4, and if all the heroes died, you just lose or win the round, depending on whose side lost all the heroes. And if you died as a hero, you turn into an infantry soldier to kind of back up the other heroes and stuff like that, so it just didn't become one-sided, and it was surprisingly fun. When I heard that they were just having 4v4, strictly 4v4 Heroes vs. Villains battles, I got excited. But as soon as a little target blip popped up on my screen my first game, I got very, very worried about what was going to happen. Because honestly, when you're the target, everybody comes after you. I mean, obviously, because you're the target, and that's the only way they can win. Sometimes, the respawns get so messed up, you usually just have an initial wave. Your 4 teammates come in, and the 4 enemies come in, and they all just clash, they destroy each other, and then usually, if your team gets wiped because the other teammates are just better than you, you get split up all across the map. The respawns are so messed up in the entirety of Heroes vs. Villains, you can never regroup back with your teammates, and every time you try to, you run into 3 to 4 heroes at a time, or enemies at a time, and it's just not really a good time. Sometimes, games will just have one complete wash because all the respawns are just really wacky. I know I've spawned I've spawned in front of enemies one time, behind enemies. I've spawned, all the way back where my friends weren't, and, sometimes I would even spawn as the target, because there is a mechanic where if you are gonna be the target, it gives you a warning. It gives you a 10-second timer, hey, you're gonna be the target, and if you die within those 10 seconds, the targeting goes right to somebody else. Now, if, you spawn in, and all your friends are dead around you, you become the target instantly, and you think to yourself, holy shit, that's an 8-second timer. I have 8 seconds to hold out here. So it'll be just enough time for a Darth Maul to use his dash attacks to go halfway across the map and force push you off the ledges. Also, with the targeting system, there are a lot of new players that come to the game. There are a lot of new players. I've been killed by people with Silver Star cards who were level 14, and I think that is just because, some players that dropped off the game are now coming back, or maybe some new players are coming to the game to kind of test it out and see what it's about because of the new heroes and everything like that. But it is very frustrating when I become the target and I'm playing with my friends and everything like that. I'm playing with 1 or 2 friends and they're defending me as they should because I'm the target, and I look to my left, I'm Luke Skywalker, I look to my left, I see an Obi-Wan Kenobi running the opposite direction, and then I look the other direction, and there is just a Chewbacca running the other direction away from me. And then I look forward, and I see Grievous, Darth Maul, and Darth Vader just coming right at me, and I'm like, well shit, this is game over. And that happens a lot. I don't think people understand the true meaning of Heroes vs. Villains, and they don't understand that teamwork means that you have to actually stick together. You guys gotta stick together, because if you don't, you're just gonna get picked off. I mean, some heroes are a lot better than others, and it really goes to show if you're a weak character and you just start running out on your own, you're just gonna get absolutely slaughtered. That was my whole spiel on the targeting system. I really don't think it's a great idea to put in. If DICE wants to make the game mode even more fun, they could literally just make it Hero Blast from Battlefront 2015. But Hero Blast from Battlefront 2015 didn't even officially come out. It was modded, and it's just 4v4 heroes just going at it, and there's 100 tickets or something. And when the 100 tickets run out on either side, the opposite side wins. And that would just be really cool. But for right now, the targeting system is not really a good thing for Battlefront, considering that so many people don't know the importance of the targeting system and they think they could just run off and do whatever they want, and it kind of ruins the game when you get ganked over and over again and the targets are kind of inconsistent. You'll become the target like every other time, and it's just really annoying. Now let's go into the actual characters. Why I have a problem with the game in its entirety is mainly because of the characters. Now, say you're Darth Maul and you're running down the corridors of Bespin, and you know, spot a Lando, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna kill this guy. You start swinging at him wildly. You're wasting your stamina on a rolling Lando. He rolls around you 3, 4, 5 times, and then he throws down a shock grenade, and then he starts shooting you in the head. That shock grenade lasts forever. So you start shooting it, he starts shooting you in the head, and you just manage to get out of it, and you start blocking. You're like, okay, I can still salvage this. Then Chewbacca comes around the corner, puts a shock grenade down, and stuns you, then starts shooting at you. And you're like, oh man, this is it. But a teammate comes around and swoops in and saves you last minute, and you're trying to just get away. And all of a sudden, you look forward and you see Rey and Obi-Wan, and they both force mind trick you at the same time. So now your controls are inverted, you can't roll, you can't dodge, and you can't use your abilities. So you just up and die. That is very, very annoying. I use the analogy a lot that Heroes vs. Villains in this state is like taking 8 of your favorite action figures and just smashing them together until they all break. That's the analogy I use because it's true. Honestly, Heroes vs. Villains is very broken. There are a lot of heroes that have gimmicks, kind of like Overwatch. They try to do like a team play mechanic that revolves solely around on heroes' abilities, what role they play, and that's awesome and everything. I'm completely for that, but not when you have so many stun characters that can just keep you in place for a certain amount of time, and especially gun characters that can roll away from lightsabers. That's another thing I want to talk about, the lightsabers. Oh my god, guys. You don't understand how frustrating it is to play as a lightsaber hero in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Honestly, when you're playing in Galactic Assault, you should just like not play as a lightsaber hero at all. You should play as Lando, or maybe, you know, Leia, or Chewbacca, or Iden Versio. Iden Versio is a good one too. But why would you ever want to play as a lightsaber hero when your lightsabers don't do damage? What? How does that make sense? How do you... I mean, when you shoot somebody with a gun, it does damage, right? It does a certain amount of damage, and, you know, that's just it. But when you go and slash someone with a lightsaber, sometimes it doesn't do damage. I remember I was Obi-Wan one time, and I was running up to an Emperor Palpatine, and I start slashing him, and I know my lightsaber went right through Palpatine, but it didn't do any damage. And that also goes for some of the Force powers, too. Some of the Force powers in the game are just completely broken. They don't really work. Luke's Force Push doesn't work. Obi-Wan's Force Push doesn't work. I don't think Yoda's really does half of the time either. Darth Maul's Force Push doesn't work. I know Darth Vader's Force Choke used to be really, really broken, but I think they fixed it now. But, and especially Kylo's Force Freeze. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I'll just Force Freeze and then they'll roll away or something like that. It'll bounce off, and that's just really stupid. I feel like lightsaber heroes are at a huge disadvantage because they have to get up close and personal. Yeah, they can block for as long as they want, but, I mean, when you have characters that can go through your block with stun attacks, such as, you know, Han's Detonite Charge, or Lando's Shock Grenade, or Chewie's Shock Grenade. But I touched on this before very briefly, but what I want to, you know, also say about the heroes, this is about lightsaber to lightsaber combat. The blocking and the turtling is ridiculous. If you guys don't know, there's a new stamina bar that tells you exactly how much stamina you have, and blocking with your lightsaber factors into that. And there are certain star cards in the game that give you more stamina, which is really cool for Galactic Assault. If you're a lightsaber hero and you're running down a corridor of, you know, Wookiees or, you know, heavies, and they just start shooting at you, you can just kind of like aim your little reticle at them, and then their blasters will come back and hurt them, and it's really cool. But not for Heroes versus Villains, because in Heroes versus Villains, everybody turtles up. Everybody blocks and blocks. Whenever they start losing, they block and run away, block and run away. I know I was fighting a Count Dooku the other day as Obi-Wan, and I was going ham on him. I was slashing, I was wildly trying to break his stamina, but the dude just kept blocking and blocking and blocking. Eventually, I kind of just gave up, and as soon as I turned around, all of his friends are sitting there, and they just absolutely destroy me. I feel like the stamina system with the blocking should kind of be like Battlefront 2015. If you guys didn't know, in that game, if you were Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader and you blocked with your lightsaber, there was a little cooldown, a little timer, a timer of how much or how long you can block. Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2, it was exactly like that. There were 3 little red dots that told you how much time you had left, and when the red dots ran out, you couldn't block anymore. But guys, that is my whole spiel about the whole heroes versus villains situation in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I think if they really wanted to make it enjoyable, they would fix the hero bugs, they would fix the blocking system, fix the targeting system, make it more of like a Hero Blast. I know that they said that they were going to kind of try to do something for an event to make it more like Hero Blast, and maybe nerf some of the stun effects and the blaster heroes just a little bit, and do some more tweaking on the rolling system to make it more fair for lightsaber heroes, because lightsaber heroes as of right now are at a huge disadvantage. But anyways, guys, as I've said before, that is my whole rant on the whole topic. If you guys agree or disagree on the topic at hand, make sure you comment your opinions in the comment section below. If you guys want to see more Rage Quit content in the future, make sure you press the sub box and the notification bell on the side. That is very, very important that you do that if you want to see more Rage Quit content. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
But to get the drawers, they are the ones I'm looking for. My tricks to work on this prick, I've got the will of the lantern core. At last I will have my revenge. I'll be able to show my face up in the rap game again. My religion, a Sith Knight, I better get to praying. Praying on my nemesis, the Phantom Menace. Basically, I'm all you, sort of stall you. Just look, Jar Jar foolish. I want you to let me guide you, show you what the Force can do. Light it up like Luke on the